We just got a preview of the new Madden 24 update a little bit ago. EA Sports put out a little bit of a trailer that's teasing Season 2 tomorrow, but that also means the title update is coming tomorrow as well. The one that we've been waiting weeks for that got delayed or took forever to get certified, whatever the reason, we're getting it tomorrow, and they put out a little bit of an update, and we're going to look at it here. So what they're showing in the teaser is Ultimate Team related because Ultimate Team is jumping over to Season 2, but this also does apply to the regular game as well because they're showing off those new abilities that were leaked about a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. And I said that those new abilities should be coming in this next update because they had been staging the game a few times and staging these abilities and X factors, meaning they were kind of getting things ready to push these new abilities and X factors through to the game. Now with Season 2 kicking off tomorrow, that could also mean other things are coming to the game as well. Obviously the season stuff is very MUT focused, but we've seen in the past when they jump to a new season, other areas of the game sometimes get updates as well, like Superstar KO, maybe the Superstar mode or Super Showdown. We don't know that for sure, but we have seen that quite often in the past, especially early in the year, not so much later in the year, but the first couple seasons of Madden each year, they usually do things for other parts of the game and not just Ultimate Team. Maybe it'll be new gear for Superstar Showdown, which is something they said they were going to do, constantly updating different things that you can earn. They do different things sometimes for Superstar KO. They do limited time events or add different elements there. So that could also be coming tomorrow. We're going to definitely learn a lot. But the one thing that they did tease today are some of those new abilities. Now, we know that there's about 15 or so that are supposed to be coming to the game. Some of the ones that they showed off in this trailer were Deep Elite for the wide receiver. So if you know, typically in the game, you can get Deep in Elite or Deep out Elite. And now they have just straight up Deep Elite, which you can get on players, which basically gives them deep in and deep out. And they're also doing the same for short and medium guys. So this is a new ability that's obviously going to be an Ultimate Team, but as we've seen in the past, ever since abilities have been a thing, almost any ability that comes to the game is also available in franchise mode as well. And even usually some of the regular rosters will get these for just like regular play now online head to head. They may give some of these abilities to just current teams that exist right now, to current players. But they should also be able to be used and equipped in franchise mode because that's always been the deal. The only time we've seen abilities or X factors not be available in franchise mode is if it was something very, very much specific, like a certain X factor. But regular abilities, we've always seen them shared across modes. Another ability that they previewed was Third Down Threat, which gives you better mid-range catching versus single coverage on third down. So something probably for like tight ends and slot receivers. So again, that's another new one that we know is coming to the game. We also saw them preview Interior Threat, which gives you dominant pass rush moves from the interior. So basically, instead of just having like the bull rush ability or the swim move ability, I believe this would just be all of those different pass moves in one. So a guy like Aaron Donald, for example, would be a guy that he can just beat you with any pass move from the inside. He'd be an example of that. And they also showed the Dual Threat ability, which says that it gives you a chance to defeat pass blockers and disrupt catches. So probably something for pass rushers like a TJ Watt, a guy that disrupts the blocks, but also gets up and like consistently swats balls away when the QB throws it. So those are some new ones that they previewed. They also previewed a new X factor called Angry Runs, which this just kind of looks like something that is, you know, just a very overpowered like freight train or something like that. That could just be a MUT only thing. The Angry Runs thing, that could just be something that's a part of Ultimate Team, but we don't know for sure. But the abilities in general should be for the entire game. Now, I'm going to let you know what else to expect in this update, but really quickly, I do want to mention that we are still sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. If you like winning money, you should definitely be using Underdog Fantasy. If you think you know football, it's really easy. All you got to do is take a couple player stats higher or lower, and if they hit, you win money. And the best part is at sign up, they always give you a random free play. So they'll give you like a quarterback to just get a single yard. So they're basically just giving you a free play right off the bat to help you out. And if you use my promo code RAY, R-A-Y, at sign up, very important, they will double your first deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you get a free $100 back to play with, which is awesome. And right now they're even running a special until tomorrow where they're doubling first deposits up to $500. So usually it's going to be $100, but if you get in today, the last day of the special, they'll actually double it up to $500, which is absolutely insane. So if it's something you're interested in, I would definitely suggest signing up today because you can get a lot more free money to play with. Now, another reason we kind of know the update is for sure coming tomorrow is because the Madden NFL Direct account also put out a tweet a little bit ago that said, server maintenance for Madden 24 is scheduled for 6 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. During this time, all online modes will be brought offline. Solo battles, MUT, and Superstar KO will be gated. Superstar KO will continue to be gated after this maintenance and will be ungated during a future update, which means the update that's going to come a few hours later, because usually the update goes through at about 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern sometimes. So if there's no update tomorrow, I just don't even know what's going on, because we've really never seen them put that kind of a tweet out and also start a new season without also pushing out the title update alongside of it. If they're putting new abilities in the game tomorrow for Ultimate Team, that requires a title update. That's not something that is server side related. When they do promos for Ultimate Team, like just putting new cards and stuff in the game and new packs, they can do that without a title update because that is server side stuff. But when they're actually putting new abilities that affect the gameplay in the game, you have to have a title update to do that. So there's just no way there's not a title update coming tomorrow, knowing all of this stuff that they've put out. Now, we should also see some other gameplay related changes, like the loot blitz finally be patched. That's like the most obvious one that people have been talking about. They may also be addressing RPOs, QB inaccuracies from what we've heard. This should also hopefully be the update that fixes the draft class issue for franchise, because they said about 10 or so days ago that they found the fix for it. So I'm assuming this should be a part of this update unless it was submitted for the next update. I really hope that's not the case, because I know people will absolutely go crazy if the draft class issue is not fixed tomorrow, but I would assume there's like a 90% chance that that should be included in this update. We're also likely going to be getting a lot of player likeness updates because we haven't really gotten many of those this year. The first update only had a few players, so there's still a bunch of rookies and like second year players. We should be getting all of that player likeness with tomorrow's update as well. It should be a big batch. We should also be getting the remaining things like the uniform updates, the missing helmets like the Colts helmet and the Broncos helmet, the alternates. All that stuff should be coming tomorrow, so it should be a pretty hefty update. It should be, without a doubt, like kind of the biggest day of the year for Madden. This is kind of that first really massive update. The first one that comes out in like August or September usually isn't the biggest one. Usually it's either late September, early October, where we're at right now, where we get that first really true big update of the year, where they're actually adding new things to the game in terms of abilities and things like that, where they're doing a bunch of player likeness, where they're doing the first big really gameplay overhaul, where they're tweaking all the things that are broken and they're patching the meta stuff, and we're getting the franchise fixes. So this is going to be a massive day that's going to kind of set the course for the rest of the year. If this update is good, you know, that's good for the remaining of the year. If this update comes through and it's lackluster, or they break something else, which we've seen happen, then it could mean bad things for the rest of the year. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty important day. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss all the info when it drops here. And make sure to check out Underdog Fantasy for the $500 deposit match that goes on until the end of today. Use code RAY at sign up.